Q, Rup, we have known each other for so many years, and it's just such a pleasure that I get the opportunity to chat with both of you. You guys have been so impossible to get a hold of because you guys are just all over the world. There's a lot of demand for this incredible band that you guys created eons ago called JoSH. A lot of people know that you guys are a fusion band, but when most people think about fusion, they think about, you know, the Indo-Western kind of fusion. You guys are a whole different kind of fusion. Let's talk a little bit about that. You, of course, come from Pakistan, and of course, sir, you are from India. So a lot of people, when they think about that, they think, how do these guys, you know, even get on? How are they still in a band after all these years? That's the fusion that is really unique, really ANOKHI about JoSH.
I think it came about because we weren't trying to do anything. We were just trying to have fun doing good music. So that's where not thinking about the formula of, hey, India, Pakistan working together and all that stuff was out the window. You know, we were just two guys, we just loved doing music and we were just playing, you know, and we were at school at the time and we met because of school, because we took the same bus and, you know, we talk about that story many times, but it was only after we gained a little bit of popularity that the media brought to our attention that, hey, there's this India-Pakistan thing, why is that happening, where is that happening from? And we're like, really? Yeah. And even the fusion element, like, it's not that we ever thought about, hey, let's do some fusion, let's mix some things together. We were just mixing our inspirations together. I was a rocker through and through. He used to listen to Qawwali, Nusrat Saab, and all that stuff, and it was just, we were like, oh, this is cool, but how do we combine these things? And then we kind of listened to each other's influences, and here we are. But I think that our fusion today that still makes us feel good is when we sing the song that we released 10 years ago, how do we make it fun for us to do that again? So that's where we can incorporate some new things, you know, maybe like, you know, some Spanish guitars or a church choir or whatever. So, and that just, it continues to be a fusion of ideas between us, and I think it resonates, and it has so far, so we're happy about that.
So what would your perspective be on it?
Well, listen, we were a band. We're a band. Q wasn't part of it first. It was a band called JoSH, and we would play covers, Indian, Pakistani covers, and go to colleges and play. I was playing the tabla in the back, and we had a different lead singer, Shiraz, and we found out that there's a guy who's come from Karachi, and he's got his own keyboard. So we're from Montreal, right?
They were using me for the equipment.
And he knows how to play it, you know. And we were in Montreal, born and raised, and you know, there aren't many Desis out there. And especially going back 10, 15 years ago, there were even less. And so to find out that, hey, there's actually a Desi guy with a keyboard who can play and likes to play in a band, we were like, whoa, right, get him in. And we actually auditioned him, which was our worst show.
So not necessary.
Which was our worst show ever. It was at McGill University, and I remember my brother Rick opening the keyboard that we rented from the keyboards from the music store, and he was figuring out the power button on stage. It was that bad. I think we're the only two out of that band that really thought, you know what, this is what we want to do. And we didn't take no as an option. We went to India 5 years in a row. We got kicked out of every single record company. This is what people don't know.
Right.
And they said, na akal na shakal, singer banne. I think we mentioned that at the ANOKHI event.
Yes, you did.
When you so graciously handed us the Band of the Decade award, which
you deserved it.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And yeah, you know what? Na akal na shakal, singer banne, and you know that just fueled it more. It fueled it more. And I was like, go ahead, say what you want. I'll be there. It's not up to you, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's
and I think that, you know, I just want to touch upon something that now when I see, like, when young kids come to us and they're like, we want to do music, and how did you get into it? And I think about, because of this answer that Rup just gave, that I was like, you know, we just didn't think that far ahead. We wanted to do music and we found a way. Like, his brother was opening a keyboard and pressing, you know, the power button on stage because they were like, hey, we just want to make music. It's just no excuses. That's it.
Right.
You know, do what you got to do. Whether in our case it's na akal na shakal and you get past it, we just got to keep going at it. And I think that we're still doing that, and we're just happy to live that hustle.
But you know, you guys are truly artists because, you know, at the beginning of this interview, you said, Q, that even songs that you guys created 10 years ago, you're still morphing. Mm-hmm. You're still trying to find other arrangements and other ways to perform, you know, those songs. And I feel that that is a small part of, you know, this tremendous longevity and success that you guys have had. Mm-hmm. What else would you attribute your longevity and your success to?
I think we, at a very early age, realized that the art is very important. You have to have quality, but it has to be coupled with the business aspect of the art.
Right. And a lot of people don't get that, right? And that's why I know that when we do our award shows, when we're looking to honor people in the music field, it's really difficult to find those artists because they're so stuck in this kind of fantasy dream world and don't realize that whatever you do that you want to make money from is a business, regardless.
And it's your business.
Absolutely. So how have you guys done that?
We've always found creative ways to get our music to people. We released our last album through McDonald's. In Pakistan, we released so we made a deal saying, okay, they said if you buy the Grand Chicken Burger and upsize your meal, which is supersize your meal, you get the JoSH album for free. So although it was for free, you're still paying for it in a form, right?
Right.
You're watching TV, it's not free, you're paying for it by watching a commercial.
Right.
So in the same way, so for 1 month, they had only our music playing in the McDonald's. More people go to a McDonald's than they go to a record store.
Right.
I mean, how many people, even in this room, have gone to a record store in the last 3 years, right? So the point of sale is what you got to think now. Okay, people are going there. You'll see albums out in Starbucks.
Right.
But we gave it for free. So they said, okay, we're going to start with 5,000 units because 5,000 was the number that the previous major pop album had sold in Pakistan, had sold 4,000 over the counter.
Okay.
So they asked for 5,000 copies.
So even there you're thinking. Even there you're looking at numbers.
Always. 5,000. And here's a cool part of it. I sold them the 5,000. So we still made money on selling the 5,000 albums. But in 4 days they called us, and I'll never forget that call. I saw it. I saw the general manager of Pakistan McDonald's calling saying, we're sold out.
Wow.
And they ended up selling 62,000 albums. You know why?
Why?
Because they ran out of the chicken. I kid you not. People were lining up and getting that free album. So finding ways. Recently we did it with another brand. And it's always...
And is this Samsung?
This is Samsung.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, so we became the brand ambassadors.
This is like the second time, right?
Well, we did a commercial 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Which is for the Star Pro. It's a really cool phone. It's a Galaxy series phone. And if you go anywhere in Pakistan, you will see 80 by 80, like massive billboards on it. And we're there. And we sold that through a jingle called Dil Mein Chamke, which we actually later on then made a song. So, people are watching this jingle and it's in their head and they're listening to this hook. And so we said, let's make the full song of it.
Right.
So just creative ways.
So smart.
But you have to be aware, right? Like I think that artists sometimes get lost in the art, and that's good. You have to be an artist.
Yes.
But
and there's a time for that.
There's a time for that, but I mean, you have to be aware. Like Rup is very good at it. It comes naturally to him, the business stuff, because he's always observing the industry. Whatever we do musically, but he's always like, okay, how is the record company who we're signed with gonna sell it? Because maybe they're not thinking about certain things that we can suggest to them. That hey guys, you know what? This is what if we try this? And so all of these ideas come from that. And as any artist, it's important to be aware of that. You can't live in that bubble saying that okay, yes, HMV exists, but nobody's going there.
Right.
But, yeah, oh my God, I got the CD in HMV. And then what?
And even if they are, they're buying DVD movies now.
Yeah, exactly.
They're buying an album.
Right.
It's so accessible on your phone.
Right.
So, you gotta stay relevant.
Right.
Times change.
That's the word, isn't it?
Relevant.
Yeah.
Times change. And you got to change with them, because if you just stay there and say, you know what, somebody will discover me here,
or somebody's going to do the thinking for me,
right,
and get it to the right outlets. Can't depend on the other people to do the thinking, because it's your baby, it's a piece of your soul that's going out. So you got to make sure it goes out to the right people and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, and and just understanding that the music business has changed so dramatically just in the last 5 years, where talent, it's unfortunate that I have to say this, but talent just isn't enough for you to be in top of mind as an artist with the fickle-minded public that has a million and a gazillion other things that they can do, right? So what do you guys do, to try and get your market share, to try and stay top of mind with your consumer?
We're actually rebranding our band. JoSH is now going to be moving forward, and probably 2 to 3 weeks going to be JTB. Actually announcing it here for the first time.
We're getting a world exclusive.
Yeah, it's JTB, JoSH the band. And I'll tell you why. A lot of people are having a problem finding us online, because when they type JoSH,
Yeah.
they're typing a biblical names, JoSH. And there are a lot of
Right.
JoSHs in this world. So I don't
Right.
blame them because it's not easy to find us. So JoSH the Band will make it a lot easier. Our Facebook is also facebook.com/JoSH the Band. Everything is going to be JTB JoSH the Band.
That is what you call smart and innovative thinking. Clearly, it's not just the business that has gotten you guys this far and has kept you guys, you know, just really out there amongst, you know, the world community that loves music, right? There's the music here. Right?
It is all
so
about
let's
that.
let's talk about the journey of the music, right? Like you guys touched upon the fact and were very honest about the fact that you feel that you weren't as good as you should have been way back in the early days. How did you get from that stage to actually being good enough?
One of the things that I remember, one thing that clicked in my head when I remember was that when we were submitting a song to a record company, they were not comparing it to other demos. They were comparing it to what's a hit. When you're going, you are directly swimming with the sharks.
Right.
You're diving into the water. You're not saying, I'll get up there. The sharks are circling. And you either one of them or you get eaten up.
Right.
So what we thought was, okay, if we're going to give a demo, it's got to be as good as this Sukhbir track that's out right now, or this Diler Mendi Bolo Tarara was a massive hit.
Yes.
You had bands like Strings and Euphoria, and this was India when the pop music was really big. So our music had to be produced just as well, sung just as well, and it had to have those catchy melodies.
So how did you get there?
We worked our butts off.
And I do
We
remember,
worked our
you know, even
butts
at the
off.
time, we worked with people. You know,
Right.
because at one point, yes, we were being self-sufficient, but when that was not enough, then we're like, okay, who can we get on board to help clean our sound? You know,
Right.
take the best parts of those ideas, but then make it better, make it bigger. You know, and if we don't have the talent to do that, then we got to bring somebody in. You know,
That's
you
really
can't
smart.
revel in your own greatness. You know, and be
Right.
like, oh my God, this is me, and that's it.
The greatest
Yes.
artists have the greatest teams.
Absolutely.
From producers to managers to and recording engineers, and in any business,
Yes.
you're surrounded with a fantastic team.
Yes.
And without that team, who are we, really?
Absolutely,
Nothing,
I agree.
right?
So, along the course of the journey, have you guys always kind of switched things up with who is going to be a part of your team each time you release an album or a new campaign? Or do you have like consistent people that tend to just keep coming up with ideas?
I think that we come up with the ideas and they facilitate them.
Got it.
I think that that's how it usually is. Probably in your case as well. You know, there's always that person who's got who lives, breathes, and eats JoSH, and that's us, right?
Yes.
So we
And your wives.
We're always working, and our families. There's no
Yes.
doubt about that. Our wives and our children.
Yes.
But you know what? That being said, that team, in our case, they've been consistent. We've been working with a similar team. And it just works. You know, you treat them right, they treat you right, because you got to understand that without them, you're nothing.
Take me back across the journey of these albums because they all speak of, you know, almost like a storyteller. It's like a play. Each of them have kind of their own nuances to it. Take me back across all your albums, like, you know, in a nutshell, what the distinct difference is between all of them, and also, you know, has it been a part of your creative change in life that, you know, has been indicative of these changes over your albums? Or has it been more kind of personal experiences that you guys have gone through? Or maybe a bit of both?
You know, I think that we always derive from our personal lives. So as far as the writing and subject matter goes, that's generally what we're talking about. But I know that, like, if I think about exactly what you're saying, the first albums were made much more, I think, more naturally, without thought, because they were just musically, we're just making music, not thinking about anything else, you know. And then I know that for myself, at one point, I started, like, after we got a couple of successful albums under our belt.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you know, I'm making music, and I'm like, is it good enough? And it took a while to break free from that and be
Yes.
like, don't overthink it.
Right.
Just make music.
Yeah.
And that's
because they were into your music because
It was honest.
it came from
Exactly.
a place of organic creativity.
Exactly.
So to try and manufacture something that's organic isn't possible.
It's impossible.
Right?
Impossible. And I think the last album especially, there were like inspirational struggles for me. But I was double, questioning myself, double guessing. Is that good melody? Is that good enough? Is that song? Like, don't think about it. Just sing.
Yeah.
We actually have 8 songs of a full album that we didn't release.
Why?
8 full tracks, fully recorded, produced.
Because you didn't feel they were good enough.
They were not good enough.
Yeah, your instinct. Was it an instinctual
It was
thing?
that. It was what you were talking about. It was more manufactured. It was like, this is what we think our fans want to hear now, because I don't know, Katy Perry's doing really well and this person's really doing well. That's the vibe. But then you got to just come back and go, wait a second. They listen to our music because they like what we like.
Yes.
So let's just be ourselves again.
Yeah.
And our last album was called Beyond Kismet.
Of course.
Yeah, and we titled that because we feel that you make your own kismet. I actually don't like that word at all.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of people use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
Meri kismet
For failure. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Wasn't in my fate. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I personally don't believe it, and neither does he.
But I still struggle with, like, I think I used to be able to do it better before, when it was just, there was no bar,
Right.
It was just, hey, I love this, and it just come out like that, and I would confidently play it, and I'd be like, Rup, listen to this, and I knew he would like it,
Right.
And I give the, really? That's what you're playing for?
And I changed my hairstyle. But now it's, again, and I still, like, as an artist, I can admit to it that I still struggle with the overthinking.
We could start off by saying, how do you measure success?
Yes.
What is your success meter and what is mine? It'll be different everywhere.
Yes.
If one person is measuring success on money and fame, then that's one thing. If somebody's success is being able to do what they love on a daily basis and being able to provide for their family through that art, then that's their success.
Absolutely.
So I think we all have to find our own thing. But yeah, you said it. Even Pitbull said it. He said, today it's 80% business, 20% talent.
Absolutely.
And it's sad, but get with it. We just have to keep moving, keep working. And if you love what you do, as it's never work.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yes.
It happens as long as you're focused on it, concentrating on it, like almost like a meditation or a simran. That becomes your simran. It becomes who you are, right?
Yes.
It becomes your mantra. And so the one thing that I have realized with people who are successful, at least in my eyes, is that they are super genuine.
Right.
From the top actors that I've met to the singers to my bandmate, the cream rises to the top.
Right.
I find that you have to be 100% genuine. You got to be genuine, because when you're not, people can see right through it.
Right.
And you don't hit. What comes from the heart will go to the heart.
Right.
It will go there.
Absolutely agreed.
Yeah.
You guys have had a lot of great collaborations too. Nelly Furtado, of course, is the one that most people know about. How did that collaboration come about? Because what you guys did with the song, I actually liked the song after you guys remixed it. I have to be honest, and I love her music. I mean, because you can tell, again, that is an artist where the music comes from the soul, right? But what you guys did with that song wasn't like your typical, Indian remix by just kind of throwing something in and therefore now it becomes a remix. You guys actually really cleverly put your part of it in right where it should have been.
We were like, Nelly, can we get in here?
We photobombed that song.
Photobombed that song.
So how did that all come about? Because we've all heard of the song.
Yeah.
We all know, that part of the story, but we don't know how you guys got there.
It's very interesting. It literally started with a Google search.
You guys?
Yeah. I mean, we sat there, we saw her sing Kabhi Kabhi on an MTV Awards.
Yeah.
And we thought, oh, she likes Indian music, and then she's Canadian, we're doing Desi music. Hey, let's introduce ourselves. And literally started off, and I typed Nelly Furtado management. And that's what a lot of people don't get. It's that easy.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't that easy, but it's that easy to begin.
Yes.
Everybody is a phone call away.
Right.
Nelly was pregnant. They had shot her first video for a song called Powerless.
Yes.
And the album was sealed. It's done.
Yeah.
And so they said, listen, we like you. You're cool vibe. Maybe another time.
Right.
And then a week later, we got a call from DreamWorks in the US, and they said that, they were in the office talking about an Indian remix to this, because apparently Indian stuff is really cool these days. And boom, you came to mind. You were there. You were in my head. Can you guys have 48 hours? Can you do this? So they FedExed us all the CDs and DVDs of the track, all the separated tracks.
Yeah.
We went in studio, and overnight we made that song. In one night we made that song. sent it back, and Nelly loved what you said. She said,
Yeah.
you guys didn't just mix it
Yeah.
with a Bhangra beat. You sang.
Yes.
You guys gave me a melody in there.
Yeah.
And you know, we did not know, but it went #1 in India. We did not know that it was on the charts for 45 weeks.
Yeah, that's the thing about the music business too. You know, sometimes you do all these things,
Yeah.
and we literally did not know because they said, look, you have 1 day, 2 days, whatever. We hustled, we sent it,
Yes.
and then we're like, okay, what's gonna happen? You know,
Yeah.
like we were not like.
You didn't have expectations.
We didn't have expectations, but
Right.
we were hoping to get the news that what happened with the track.
Of course.
Did they do anything? And then I remember one of our friends, he messaged us and he was like, I just saw that you guys are going to be, that your version of Powerless is being released on BBC Asian Network. And it's being like, it's going to be played for the first time. We're like, what? You know, and then we were excited. And by then the track, you know, had gone out in India and had already gained so much
They actually
momentum.
repackaged the album in India. They
Yeah.
took them back, they repackaged it with our song, and then re-released it.
Smart business move.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, it was all about sending that email.
Right.
Because you know,
Absolutely,
if you don't
babe.
send that email, JoSH would have not been in his head when they had that meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
And because of that song, Nelly invited us on tour. Like we toured with her. You know, like we toured in the UK. We did the most amazing show in India at the Hiri Cricket Stadium in Bombay. You know, it was like, I don't know, 45, 50,000 people, and they wanted to hear Powerless, and they wanted to hear our version.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah,
and
it's
it was
really
like, and that night, Shah Rukh called and said, guys, come to my house for it was New Year's.
Yeah.
Come to my house for the New Year's party, and we went there, and they're like, oh my God, JoSH. I'm like, you know us. You know, like,
See, because you guys are humble. You got, you know, the story that you were telling earlier about, you know, the most successful people out there are the ones that are genuine,
Yeah.
right? I've known you guys forever, right? You guys haven't changed at all.
we're consistently jerks.
You,
But we're consistent. Keyword.
that's the key word.
Genuinely
not the jerk
jerks.
word. Not in my book, you're not. I also want to ask you guys, you know, there's this whole kind of struggle that I've seen over the last few years, right? Before I get there was this whole influx of South Asian, you know, creativity in the music field that came out about 10 years ago. There was numerous bands and different people, and there was a lot of excitement associated with people from our community creating music that, you know, that had its own identity, right, outside of India. All of a sudden now that has tapered off. There's been, you know, certain artists that, you know, have had a little bit of success in mainstream by being fully mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
But there's never been a clear, consistent momentum for our music in mainstream pop.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got to feel the urge to want to participate in making something like that happen. No?
No.
Okay, talk to me.
Yeah, no. You know what? People talk about the collaborations of the world and the universality of music, and they talk about how cultures are mixing music and all that sort of stuff. But you know what? At the end of the day, how many white rappers do you know that are successful and out there? 1, 2,
Right.
3?
Right.
How many Afro-American country artists do you know?
Right.
When you're going to listen to hip-hop, you're going to listen to a hip-hop singer.
Got it.
You're not going to come to us to listen to classical jazz.
Right.
You're going to go to, you know, classical jazz, you're going to go down south, you're going to listen to somebody out in New Orleans. It's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go to India, you're not going to listen to a brown guy singing country music on radio there. It's not going to happen.
Right.
You know, it is what it is. We're from Kenya. My family's from East Africa. You're going to go to Nairobi. You're not going to listen to country music in Nairobi.
Right.
You're not going to have even hip-hop. You're going to have East African cool jams. And man, let me tell you, that music is amazing.
Yeah.
But the truth is, we had this idea of collaborating with a Grammy Award-winning artist 15 years ago. It's been, 10 years ago, something like that. And we did it. And it was fun.
Right.
And we moved on. And like a
Right.
whole bunch of other artists are still trying to do that, and they still do it. And it's great. Everybody's got to have their own journey.
Right.
But we're not interested in being on radio here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's not our sound,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
if they could play, if radio here
Yeah.
could play like Kabhi or Baan Fadke and stuff like that,
They already
it makes
would have.
sense. You know, they would have.
They would have.
Right? Why
Right.
did we go to India when we were making music in Montreal? Because we realized that this music that we are making
Yes.
is mainstream in India,
There.
Right.
not mainstream here.
Of
If it was
course.
mainstream here, we would have released it here. But there was
Right.
no point.
Right.
You know, so, and it still remains like when, if we do a song together, it's not radio friendly for North America.
Right. And it doesn't have to be.
And it doesn't have to be, exactly.
We're
The
brand
world
ambassadors
is
of
so big.
Samsung over
Yeah.
there.
Right.
MTV India Artist of the Year. I mean, over there, we're mainstream.
Right.
We just happen to live here.
Not about geography, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you guys are saying. It's
Where-
about audience.
Where we have traveled in North America
Yeah.
after gaining success in the subcontinent
Yes.
is amazing. Like,
Yes.
we have gone to the small towns, and there's a few thousand people in front of us, and we're like, what are these Indians doing here?
Yeah.
Because they are everywhere, and we've explored so much North America, so much more than I think North American artists
They
have gone
don't.
to.
Yeah.
We're actually one of the highest touring Canadian bands
Wow.
that Canada doesn't know about.
My son, who is not at all into South Asian music, dare I say,
Yes.
you know, and his mother supports everything to do with our community. He is totally like, you know, your Canadian dude, and he's into like all of that kind of crazy death metal kind of music. He came to my 10th anniversary awards show, and I have to share this with you guys. And I asked him, what out of all the performances and all the moments on stage was your favorite? And he said those two guys at the end, meaning you
Oh my
guys.
God, that's amazing.
No, it's just, and I thought to myself that
He was talking about the guitarists on the stage. Those two guys.
But you know, honestly, I mean, we had pop artists there, right? We had like mainstream pop artists that were on stage, and you guys were like that authentic, desi, you know, Punjabi fusion kind of music, and that's what resonated to him. And I think and I think the reason is that, again, it comes back to authenticity. You guys aren't pretending to be something. You guys are who you are. What you guys did was tremendous, and that, again, is part and parcel of why you guys are an incredible touring band. Coming back to the point of what you're going to
yes, performance for us is everything.
Yes.
We put our hearts out on the plate, and people can judge it, and that's the beauty of art. You know, that's all you really got. And always trying to be better. Always trying to be better. Look at the performances out there and put that. Don't just go running on stage. Don't just go and take one tolki and a toll and try to think that people are going to be entertained for an hour. They're not.
Right.
Let me tell you, they're not. You have to take them on a journey.
Yes.
With you.
Yes.
And so we are actually starting Soft Seater Tour, which is basically auditoriums.
Okay.
And it's a world music act. So it's not going to be only catered to Apne Indians and Pakistanis, which we are very happy if they come.
Of course.
But it's going to be catered to everybody. It's not mainstream. It's more authentic roots, ground roots, people that like to discover music, people that are going to music festivals and listening to new and different bands.
Oh, I love it.
You know, so that's where we're going. We're doing we're doing the festival tours.
Yeah.
And we're taking a 10-piece band.
Wow.
Everything from every lighting minute
Yeah.
to what we say is going to be super rehearsed. We're going to have surprise guests, and I mean, we're so excited. We're actually designing the show on paper.
So see, this is new
I
and fun
believe you.
for us, you know?
Yeah.
So this is it, part of this journey, and obviously we'll be doing our songs that we've released a long time ago.
Of
But now
course.
that we get to look at it differently, explore these ideas differently, and it's so exciting.
Yes.
You know? Like, it's like we were when we made the first song. But now it's like, okay, now we breathe new life into it. What can we do to remake it and all that
Yes.
stuff? It's
Yes.
cool.
So, to your fans, what would you say in regards to, you know, what to expect in the future for JoSH the band?
What to expect? You know, always something new. We're going to continue working hard because without the fans, obviously, nobody's there to listen, and we're basically nothing without them. If you can make a change, not only in your life, but in somebody else's life in a positive way, that's what art is all about.
Yes.
Communication and speaking that. And so we'll continue to do that from our hearts, and that's what our fans can always expect.
Oh, I love it. And I'm always going to be an ardent fan of both of you. I adore you guys. You guys
you so
are
much.
tremendous talent. And I just feel so blessed
Thank
that
you.
I know
That's
you
very
guys
sweet.
and that you guys have taken time out of your insane schedule to come sit here and chat a little bit about your story and, you know, just let my audience know, you know, who you guys are. Who are these guys behind the persona? So thank you so much.
It's a pleasure
Yeah.
always.
You know, I wanted to say that thank you to you, because you're also just, you're a pioneer, and you're just keep going. You keep going, and you're an amazing example. So
thank you, my dear.
Yeah, thanks to you as well. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm Punjabi, yaar.
What the heck?
We don't give up.
I've told him.
Guys, I'm still here. You can start doing your Bhangra moves in 5 minutes.
And we will. We already are. It's already moving.
Yeah. So thank you so much, my loves. I can't wait till the next time we have a chance to work together, and also, you know, when you've got something else going on that's fun and exciting,
we will
come back on the show.
Thank
Love
you
you both so much.
so much.
Thank you.
All right.